to Eyewitness News and video at myabc7.com.
Welcome to World News. Our bus tour has brought us tonight to the battleground state of Iowa. And in the headlines, again, it is the economy in crisis. From the cornfields here in Iowa to the canyons of Wall Street, to every corner of the globe, fear itself is the order of the day. And everyone is asking the same question: where do we go from here?
From ABC News, this is World News with Charles Gibson. Reporting tonight from Davenport, Iowa.
Good evening. We have come to the final stop on our bus tour here in Iowa. And we end the week as we began it, talking about the one issue on everyone's mind and what will be the one topic of this broadcast, the worldwide economic crisis. What a week it has been. Watching the Dow Industrial Average has been like watching the heart monitor on a critically ill patient. After dropping nearly 700 points just after the open today, the Dow gyrated, at times even moving into positive territory. But in the end, the Dow closed down 128 points. And just in the week we've been traveling, the index has lost more than 1,800 points, 18% of its value. So we begin again tonight with Betsy Stark. Betsy?
Good evening, Charlie. It was a roller coaster end to a harrowing and historic week in global financial markets, one investors around the world would probably like to forget, but probably never will. As one economist put it, this week, the sky really did fall. For those who woke up wondering when the nosedives in the stock market would end,
how about Chevron, guys?
The answer at the opening bell was not today.
Sell 30,000 for cash.
It was another wild rush to the exits.
There's no bids. There's no bids.
Within minutes, the Dow plummeting 600 points.
Oh my God, it was ripping. I'll call you back. I'll call you back.
It doesn't get, any worse than this in terms of the fear. You don't know when the selling's going to stop.
The president tried once again to reassure a frightened public.
We can solve this crisis, and we will.
But all week long, a torrent of policymaking has been met with a wave of selling. The successful passage of a $700 billion rescue package could not prevent a nearly 400-point drop Monday. Tuesday, the Federal Reserve announced a blank check for loans to businesses, and the Dow fell 500. Wednesday, a global interest rate cut ended in a nearly 200-point decline. And Thursday, even after the government said it might buy direct stakes in the nation's biggest banks, the Dow plummeted nearly 700 points.
People need proof. They need to see that these things are going to work. They want to see it before they stop selling their stocks and other assets.
The loss of wealth has been devastating. More than $2.5 trillion in hard-earned investment savings wiped out in less than 2 weeks.
It's like 10 years of saving is now completely gone, vanished, poof.
There were moments today when it looked like the bottom had finally been reached.
Here we go.
But the Dow seesawed back and forth, up 200,
Take us home, baby.
down 200, gyrating wildly into the close.
When you see 1 minute the market is up 200 points, the next minute the market is down 200 points. And ask yourself, what kind of confidence can an investor have in a market that trades like that?
And late today, Secretary Paulson confirmed the Treasury Department will go ahead with plans to have the government take part ownership of some U.S. banks to help stabilize financial institutions and make sure they have money to lend. Charlie?
Betsy Stark reporting again on the markets today, thanks to you. Well, late today, I spoke again with Liz Ann Sonders. She's the chief investment strategist at Charles Schwab. Liz Ann, I must say, going into this day, I kept thinking, it can't happen again.
It sure did, for a little while anyway. It really was a remarkable day. We had a 1,000-point swing throughout the day, and 800 of which was in the first half hour. So it was quite the roller coaster ride on a Friday. Just today, we saw volatility spike to beyond what we saw the day of the crash in 1987. So, unprecedented is becoming a very ubiquitous word these days, but volatility did become unprecedented today. I think a lot of people are very happy the weekend is here.
How much of what we're seeing, what we saw this week, is fear, and how much is reality?
We're going through a pervasive period of fear right now, and it's manifesting itself in what the stock market is doing. But all we have to do is think back to late 1999, early 2000, which was the most recent example of the mirror image of that. Excessive optimism and euphoria that, sure enough, in hindsight, was the top of the market.
When the recovery does come, do you have any sense of what it'll look like?
I think it's going to happen over time. It took about 9 months back in 2002 for the market to go through this process. I don't know how long it's going to take this time. As far as the economic recovery, I think that also is going to be a relatively long process, probably a longer process than the norm. But I think once the market decides that it wants to rally here, I think the rallies are going to be incredibly fierce and incredibly sharp because they often tend to be the mirror image of the weakness that you saw prior to that.
Liz Ann Saunders from Charles Schwab. Well, this has been a week of white knuckles, nowhere more so than on the trading floors on Wall Street, and ABC's Bianca Golodriga spent the day there.
From the explosive opening bell sell-off,
Expecting and I'm hoping for a very violent sell-off, flush the sellers out, and hopefully it'll draw some buyers back in the market.
to a much welcome midday bounce in buying.
Bounced 200 points pretty quick off 8,000.
Seaport Securities trader Jason Weisberg was in the thick of it.
Hey.
When the president spoke, trying to stave off a financial collapse, Weisberg grew frustrated.
The people in Washington should not speak, including the president, because it's not helping. It doesn't help anymore. It's just let capitalism take over. Let people absorb what they've done already.
Then a breather for lunch.
If the market doesn't kill us, the food will.
A few hours south of Wall Street,
Thank you for calling the Wise Investor.
in Reston, Virginia, another trader faced down an irrational market.
Good to see you.
Randy Beeman, a money manager with Baird Financial Advisors, spent his lunchtime calming clients and himself down.
But if I needed cash, now's the wrong time to be selling.
That's exactly right. The predominant question that we hear is, I'm retired. Are my assets going to be able to continue to provide my income in retirement?
Back at the New York Stock Exchange, Jason Weisberg jumped in on the late day buying, pleased with how the day ended.
You said 100 points down would still be a victory.
It would still be a victory, so 100
is
points up would be huge.
A relative victory, but no question tonight a relief. Bianca Golodriga, ABC News, New York.
Incidentally, we'll hear from some of those retirees that we talked to here in the Midwest a little later in the broadcast. But this wild day on Wall Street follows what was also a calamitous day on markets around the world. Japan's Nikkei index was down 10%, Australia down 8%, Britain's FTSE was down 9%. Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson held emergency meetings with finance ministers from around the world, and late today they pledged to do whatever it takes to help end the crisis. Here's ABC's Jim Sciutto.
The financial crisis is reverberating around the globe like shockwaves. 7 large European banks are fighting to survive on government bailouts. And now a whole nation is on the brink. Iceland's debt amounts to 12 times the size of its economy.
What we've seen in the last week is literally a complete breakdown of trust. No one bank in Europe trusts any other bank in Europe.
No lending means no money for businesses big and small to grow, leading to worries about a European recession. So today, BMW announced it's closing 2 of its largest plants for a week because it expects to sell 40,000 fewer cars next year to America. And other European companies are also cutting production, from French fashion designer Dior to Finnish cell phone maker Nokia, which will produce 15 million fewer cell phones.
It's a question of the dominoes have been falling one after the other and gaining in succession, in speed.
Watching economies slow in the West, even Asia, which had been the backbone of world growth, is bracing for a downturn. In China, steel makers are scaling back because they expect less business from their cash-strapped American customers.
When things slow down abroad, people aren't going to be buying from the United States. And when people lose confidence, they're not going to invest in the United States.
So American exports, the one bright spot for the U.S. economy recently, are expected to fall. And that means the downturn overseas is reverberating right back to the U.S. Jim Sciutto, ABC News, London.
And still ahead on World News from Davenport, Iowa, the economic view from Main Street, 401ks, fear, and some farmers who are in good financial shape. The candidates take on the economic crisis, new lines of attack with 25 days to go. And at the end of the broadcast, we run into a bit of bus trouble. 29 tons stuck in the mud.
This is World News with Charles Gibson. Brought to you by Mrs. Dash.
Everything that goes into each of the 13 different varieties of Mrs. Dash, all those natural herbs and spices, is just as important as what doesn't. No salt, no MSG. Everything that goes into Mrs. Dash is there to make sure that what you get out is nothing short of delicious. Mrs. Dash, salt-free, flavorful. And try the 10-minute marinades from Mrs. Dash.
Robitussin knows one of the reasons we cough is to help clear away mucus. Robitussin DM Max has a double dose of the medicine that helps clear mucus while also controlling your cough. Robitussin DM Max, double the strength against mucus for a reason.
Are you like me? I have high blood pressure and I have high cholesterol.
But he treats both with one pill.
Catawit makes it easier to manage my two conditions. Catawit contains two proven medicines, one for lowering high blood pressure, the other for lowering high cholesterol, combined in one pill. Catawit. That works for me.
Catawit is one of many treatment options, in addition to diet and exercise that he discussed with his doctor.
Catawit is not for everyone. It's not for people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. To check for liver problems, you need simple blood tests. Tell your doctor about any heart problems and all other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Along with diet and exercise, Catawit effectively lowers both high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Two medicines, one pill. Ask your doctor if Catawit is right for you.
Who would you give a leave to?
My sister for her arthritis pain.
Definitely my mom for her back pain.
I'd give it to my uncle for his knee pain.
This October, help someone move pain-free with a free box of Aleve during the Aleve Buy One, Give One giveaway.
Just like the stock market, we covered a lot of territory today, meeting folks who are suffering from this economy, others who are okay but highly nervous, some who are selling their stocks, some who are sitting tight. And we even met a couple of farmers who were doing quite well, thank you very much. All had stories to tell. Our first stop was Dixon, Illinois. We went there to see Ronald Reagan's boyhood home. Just curious about it, really. But we were visiting at the point the market was down 700 points this morning. And since Dixon is such a pleasant little town, we stopped off to meet the local broker.
We're trying to encourage people, one, to make sure they're diversified properly. And two, if it's not money you need right away, you just need to stick to it.
Are his clients nervous? He said he doesn't have a moment to himself.
I am booked throughout the day, yeah.
You are?
And I have a stack of phone messages that I keep trying to get back to.
Across the street in the local bookstore, we met 4 retirees, 2 of whom had to book days in advance to see their broker, Mr. Pettigrove.
Tell me how the financial, I don't even know what to call it, the financial unrest, I guess. And more than that, maybe even fear and panic. Debacle.
Debacle? That's
Yes.
probably a good word. That's probably a good word. How does it affect you? How do you react to it each day?
I just, like everyone else, I got that quarterly report about a week ago and went, oh my God. It was just really scary.
How much was it down?
I had about $125,000 in. It was down $17,000 in 3 months.
Do you check?
It's a worry. You bet. You can't let it worry you too much,
I'm optimistic. I think that the bottom is close, and I think it'll start rebounding. But my fear again is that when you retire, your needs are more immediate.
Then it was off to Iowa. First stop, a family farm in Eldridge. Neil Kepi and his brother Chad run a family farm, 1,900 acres, and for them, times are pretty good. Price of corn is still high?
Yeah, it's real volatile. It's kind of like the stock market. It's more volatile now than any time in history before.
The market now can move up or down 30 cents a day for corn, whereas when my brother and I started farming in 2000, the first 5 years, if it moved 30 cents in a year, that was a big move.
This is harvest season, so Neil took me on the combine to give a city guy a sense of farming.
He's done this.
Fascinating. 50 feet into the first rows of corn, the combine has plucked the ears from the stalk, shucked the ears, and stripped the cobs of kernels that were already flying into the back of the combine.
Lending is critical to agriculture, and that we have to, you know, I don't necessarily like the government being involved in bailing out every industry when there's a hard time, but the credit market, I understand that they cannot let that dry up.
Then it was off to Bettendorf, Iowa, and Ross's Diner, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Business is off 20% or so.
When, you know, people on the networks are saying, here's a way you can cut back on your expenses, eat out less often, you know, that hurts us directly.
We talked to a few of his customers.
It gives you a little bit of queasiness in the tummy.
Well, it does when you work 35 years to have what you have, and then to have 20% of it gone in just a month's time or so.
I'm proud of the people in the Midwest, and we're going to get through this no matter what happens. I mean, we're just resilient. We'll help each other out.
Great to talk to all those folks, and they all want to talk about the current situation. Coming up, the candidates each offer up new solutions for the economy.
If you've had a heart attack caused by a completely blocked artery, another heart attack could be lurking, waiting to strike. A heart attack caused by a clot, one that could be fatal. But Plavix helps save lives. Plavix, taken with other heart medicines, goes beyond what other heart medicines do alone to provide greater protection against heart attack or stroke and even death by helping to keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots. Ask your doctor about Plavix, protection that helps save lives.
If you have a stomach ulcer or other condition that causes bleeding, you should not use Plavix. When taking Plavix alone or with some other medicines, including aspirin, the risk of bleeding may increase. So tell me before planning surgery. And always talk to me before taking aspirin or other medicines with Plavix, especially if you've had a stroke. If you develop fever, unexplained weakness, or confusion, tell me promptly, as these may be signs of a rare but potentially life-threatening condition called TTP, which has been reported rarely, sometimes in less than 2 weeks after starting therapy. Other rare but serious side effects may occur.
If you take Plavix with other heart medicines, continuing to do so will help increase your protection against a future heart attack or stroke beyond your other heart medicines alone. You may be feeling better, but your risk never goes away. Help stay protected. Stay with Plavix.
It's time for everyone to seize power. The power to clean tooth by tooth and reduce up to twice as much plaque as a regular manual brush. The power to demand a dentist-like smooth, clean feeling every day. Power to the people. Oral-B.
It's a lovely day to be together. I doubt that life could get any better.
What are you gonna miss when you have an allergy attack? Benadryl is more effective than Claritin at relieving your worst symptoms. Runny nose, sneezing, and watery eyes. And works when you need it most. Benadryl, you can't pause life.
It's endless shrimp at Red Lobster. Indulge in endless choices of your favorite shrimp, including new shrimp in a spicy Cajun butter sauce. It's endless shrimp, our best value of the year. Now at Red Lobster.
I'm Mark Goldston, Chairman and CEO of NetZero. All internet providers take you to the same internet, so why pay more to get there? NetZero is only $9.95 a month, and we give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 1-800-NET-ZERO or visit netzero.com.
There is late-breaking news from Alaska tonight on that investigation into Governor Sarah Palin. And for details on that, we're going to turn now to ABC's Terry Moran.
Charlie, tonight an Alaskan state investigation has found that Sarah Palin unlawfully abused her authority as governor when she fired the state's public safety commissioner, Walt Monaghan, in July. All this stems from a nasty dispute over a state trooper who was once married to Palin's sister. And this investigation has haunted Palin as she's run for vice president. The investigation found that Palin abused her power to benefit her personal interests. She wanted that trooper, Mike Wooten, fired after a very messy divorce from her sister. The panel found that Palin did have other reasons for firing the state public safety commissioner. he'd refused to comply with her demand that the trooper be fired. But the real focus on the campaign today was the economy. And we've got reports from both sides, beginning with David Wright. He's with the John McCain campaign.
Today in La Crosse, Wisconsin,
Senator Obama will try to distract you.
And here in Lakeville, Minnesota,
he has the most liberal voting record in the United States Senate, even more liberal than Bernie Sanders, who used to be a socialist.
McCain sought to portray Obama as a politician who will raise your taxes and leave your kids with a mountain of debt.
You don't have to hope that things will change when you vote for me. You know things will change.
Obama's blind ambition. When convenient, he worked with terrorist Bill Ayers.
Today, the McCain campaign released a new ad alleging that, especially in these troubled times, voters can't afford to take a chance on Obama.
In crisis, we need leadership, not bad judgment.
He also laid out some specifics of his own, including his $300 billion proposal for the government to refinance troubled mortgages, and a new idea to allow seniors to delay cashing out their individual retirement accounts so the markets have time to recover.
To spare investors from being forced to sell their stocks at just the time when the market is hurting the most, those rules should be suspended.
But it is the man, not so much the message, that appeals to the voters who attend these rallies.
I think McCain has shown that he can work on both sides of the table. Both sides of the, to help this country.
Mr. Obama, I am greatly concerned that more government, more taxes is inevitable with his programs.
That may be why McCain has focused so much on raising doubts about his opponent. David Wright, ABC News, Lakeville, Minnesota.
I'm John Berman following Barack Obama in Ohio. And from Chillicothe,
we meet at a moment of great uncertainty for America.
To Columbus.
Yesterday, millions of Americans lost more of their investments in hard-earned retirement savings.
Obama was doing a delicate dance with the financial crisis, delivering one part political punch, laying blame on the Republicans.
It is time to put the last 8 years of failed economic policies behind us.
And one part economic pep rally.
You believed in yourselves. You believed in each other. I want you to believe in the future we can build together.
Aides say he's trying to look presidential, that voters want to see calm in this time of turmoil.
Now is the time for resolve and steady leadership.
For the first time this week, he proposed new policy, extending new federal loans for small businesses. But his supporters seem to care less about details than demeanor.
What do you think Barack Obama's specific economic plan is?
Well, it's hard to tell right now, but I think he's going to try to help the middle-class people.
And while Obama might claim to be above politics,
this is not the time for ideology.
He is playing clear political angles, labeling McCain as erratic on the economy and asserting the economy is a bigger issue than whatever barrage of charges McCain is making about his ties to Bill Ayers.
I know my opponent is worried about his campaign, but that's not what I'm worried about. I'm thinking about the Americans who are losing jobs and homes and their life savings.
And tonight, ABC News has learned the Obama campaign is out with a new campaign ad using the economy to blunt McCain's attacks. It says, quote, "It's clear with no plan to fix the economy, smears are all John McCain has left." Charlie.
John Berman reporting tonight from the Obama campaign, and David Wright with McCain. Thanks to both of you. And up next, we hit a bump in the cornfield, and we have a final thought as our week-long bus tour comes to an end.
History of smoking and breathing problems, it could be COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis, emphysema, or both. Discover Spiriva, the only once-daily inhaled maintenance prescription that treats both forms of COPD. Spiriva significantly improves lung function to help you breathe better for a full 24 hours. And it's not a steroid. Spiriva is not a rescue inhaler. Tell your doctor about your medicines, even eye drops, and illnesses like glaucoma and urinary or prostate problems. These may worsen with Spiriva. The most common side effect is dry mouth. Others include constipation and problems passing urine. In the event your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes, or eye pain, stop taking Spiriva and call your doctor. Spiriva is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor.
Make a habit of breathing better with Spiriva.
Eating light?
Light? No. Look at this, big chunks of chicken, vegetables, pasta.
Progresso, 70 calories and endorsed by Weight Watchers. I call that light, big guy.
But like a big guy light.
Progresso, what a light soup should be.
On taxes, who's on your side? John McCain pledges hundreds of billions in corporate tax breaks, billions for oil companies. But for 100 million households, nothing. And McCain's health plan would tax benefits for the first time ever, meaning higher income taxes for millions. Barack Obama, no tax hikes on any families earning less than $250,000, and 3 times as much middle-class tax relief as McCain for the change we need.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Arthritis targets your body where it's weak, where it's vulnerable. Tylenol Arthritis works with your body to block the pain without interfering with certain high blood pressure medicines like Aleve sometimes can. So you don't just feel better, you feel better knowing doctors recommend Tylenol more than any other brand of pain reliever.
Constipation, bloating, gas, diarrhea. People, is your colon sending you a message? Now there's new Philips Colon Health with probiotics. It helps naturally restore the balance in your digestive system, so you can avoid those very unpleasant symptoms with new Philips Colon Health.
ABC Sunday 8/7 Central. For all the teachers that have changed our lives, a makeover event that will pay one of them back.
This is the ultimate hero.
ABC's Extreme Makeover Home Edition. All new Sunday 8/7 Central on ABC.
Finally tonight, we have come to the end of the road. But before a final thought, there was a bit of humor today. We drove our bus into Neil Kepi's cornfield, and the 29-ton bus sank into the rich Iowa dirt and wouldn't come out. Neil's brother Chad and our driver Dave hooked up a chain. Our crew did a very poor imitation of the World's Strongest Man competition. But then, never have we been so grateful for heavy machinery. A strong John Deere tractor saved the day, or we'd still be there. Now to the final thought. We've been in 5 states in 6 days, covered 1,000 miles, talked to a lot of people, and 2 presidential candidates. And I'm not running for anything. But every stop reinforced the fact that the economic crisis trumps everything. People were happy to talk politics, sure, and they are involved. But they wanted to talk jobs, or lack of same, taxes, 401ks. We'd get off the bus to talk to folks, and by the time we'd get back on, stocks would be down another 200 or 300 points. All along the way, Dayton to Bowling Green, Indianapolis to Milwaukee, Racine to Davenport, we met people anxious to be sure, and there was some anger. But so too are people resilient, realistic about their options, and in the end, optimistic. You're reminded on a trip like this how much people depend on and believe in each other and in their country. We'll get through this, battered maybe, but unbowed. And that is World News for this Friday. We thank everyone we met along the route, and we want to thank the folks here in Davenport who showed up to say hello tonight. We thank all of you for being here. And we want to remind you that if you want continuing coverage of the economic crisis, you can watch 2020 and Nightline, and of course, on abcnews.com. I'm Charlie Gibson, and I hope you had a good day. For all of us at ABC News, have a good weekend.
Tonight, the world premiere video. Britney is back. 2020. Britney tonight, 10/9 Central, ABC.
When you see news happening, call the Eyewitness News tip line toll free at 877-777-NEWS.
Get ready. It's Macy's Columbus Day Suit Sale. Find a great selection of suits for her, just $99.99. Plus, get an extra 10% off when you use your Savings Pass or Macy's card. Macy's Columbus Day Suit Sale. Going on now.
It's unprecedented. Democrats and Republicans have come together against Proposition 7. Business and labor agree no on Prop 7. California's environmental and renewable energy groups all oppose Prop 7. And nearly every major newspaper in the state recommends no on 7. Why? Because it is so poorly written and flawed, it'll actually hurt California's move to renewable energy.
Stop another costly, flawed energy scheme. Vote no on Proposition 7.
Get the most out of your weekend at Hometown Buffet with loads of meaty barbecue pork ribs and platefuls of big butterfly shrimp.